You know, there's an old saying that less is more, and I'd say most of the time I agree with that, but what the actual fuck are we doing with logos in all of our modern media? Why do companies feel that they need to reduce everything to a single fucking line so that way they can market their shit? You can make dynamic logos and make a simplified version and use both. Why is everything so goddamn minimalist? And you know who I fucking blame for this? Goddamn millennials, bro. I swear to God, it shows in literally everything they're doing. All of their clothing, all of their media, and all of their fucking houses even, bro. All of the millennial architecture is the reason we have all of this dog shit, bland ass colors with simple ass designs in every building. Have you seen a McDonald's from the early 2000s and then looked at your newest McDonald's now and been like, what the fuck happened? Millennials happen, bro. Millennials happen, and corporate minimalism is what happened. Look at this Spotify logo that they just redid. That is beautiful, sexy. It reminds me of like an app icon on an early 2000s like smartphone. Like it looks like something my mom would have had on her phone when I was a little kid. And I saw that and I was like, dude, this is so hype. Maybe we're gonna start getting old ad logos back, Frutiger Arrow type vibes. But no, because as soon as Spotify releases this fucking logo, people go online and are like,
ew, this looks disgusting. Spotify, what are we doing? This has to be a joke, right?
motherfucker, I swear to God, if you take this away from me. This is all I have wanted for so goddamn long. That's dramatic. This isn't all I've wanted. There's a lot of things I want. But this is something that I've talked about for so long and so many other people have. Schlatt made a whole video about horrible logo redesigns, and all of the horrible ones just go way too goddamn minimalist. Look at the Firefox logo before, and look at it now. Notice the difference? The new one is dog shit. It's completely simplified. That doesn't look like a fox. That's an orange swirl. Meaningless and pointless to even try to like argue this and tell companies to change it because it's such a minuscule thing that they don't care about. And like I said, when a logo is simplified, it's easier to market it and put it on all of your products and shit. Trying to convince a company to change one of their logos after it's been branded on everything, I'd have an easier time trying to convince a Mormon woman to have sex with me without her friend Todd shaking the bed. So what is my point of making this video? What am I trying to tell you? Maybe if you're a young person watching this, middle school, high school, college, and we're gonna be in the workspace someday, and someday we'll get to run things, let's not focus on minimalism in our logos and everything. For the love of God, I cannot stand it anymore. Everything is so goddamn depressing. I just want a little bit of joy and whimsy, like how that Spotify logo makes me feel. I need to reiterate it again. That is such an upgrade from the old boring ass one, the disco ball with all the little details. I feel like I even try to show it in my stuff. Like, I don't have a super crazy logo, but it used to just be letters. I don't know if I have a picture anymore, but if I do, I'll flash up my old logo on the screen right now. That is what my logo used to look like. And now this is my new logo. It's a fox because I wanted it to be something a little bit more different and a little bit more dynamic, because I was like, why am I making this just minimalist and letters? And I was like, I don't actually want to do that. I like to draw and stuff. And also, I'm not a furry. Please don't start claiming that I'm a furry. I just thought the logo was cool. But yeah, so if you take anything away from this video, don't support minimalism and don't think that everything has to be minimalist that you design. Create stuff that's more dynamic, has more parts to it, maybe is a little bit brighter colors. Do stuff like that. It looks cool. People who are going to tell you that you shouldn't are just bland and boring. And like, it's okay to have a minimalist logo. I think you should have one of both, in my opinion. I do want to come up with one someday that's like a little bit better for my Slap Out channel that I could maybe put on merch or something like that, because the logo I have right now isn't really easy to put on merch and stuff like that. It's like Nike, for example. Like Nike has their bigger logo with the letter on it, which you don't see as often, and then just their swoop. I like to think of that in the same way, where I have my Fox logo and then I'd have something else that's more marketable that I can put on all of my merch and stuff like that. So yeah, all I wanted to say is I hate minimalism, and you know, you're free to think whatever you can. You can look at the logos and be like, yeah, they look fine, because they do. I mean, you look at most logos, like from a graphic design standpoint, they're all solid. I mean, it is what it is, but I just want a little bit more fun going on. Is that too much to ask for? Everything's so sad nowadays. The world is falling apart, and it's probably honestly upsetting that at this point I got a little bit of joy just from seeing Spotify change their logo. Also, we have access into the millennial mind with this video because I asked my father, who is a millennial, as somebody who grew up as a kid in the 80s, teenager in the 90s, and then a young adult in the early 2000s and 2010s, what has it been like getting to see all of these changes in design and why is it that you think so many people in your age group fall into this? And his response was, he thinks growing up in the 80s and 90s with such bright color schemes, maybe millennials, once they got older, felt like they kind of wanted to veer away from that to something that is a little more calm. And he seemed like he personally didn't align with that as much, but he said he can definitely see how that line of thought might follow with many other millennials. And also, I do want to get across, I know it kind of seems like I carry an anti-millennial sentiment, and I do a little bit because I feel like there are a lot of things that that generation does that I don't necessarily agree with, which I'll probably cover in other videos, but that's just generalizing. If you're a millennial, I don't hate you because I don't know you. All right, this is a really short video, but that's all I had to say. I just had to get that off of my chest real quick. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about all of this, if you think minimalism's bad or anything like that, and we'll see you in the next video.